Hello. This is Easter 2015, and I wanted to make a video regarding the past year. I'm coming up on 27 years sobriety. I've been through a lot of things in my life. At birth, I was born in the middle of a flood in the hospital. I was taken out by candlelight. By 7, I had lost my father. I really had no one to fill the gaps in. Started drinking at about 11. Became problematic about the time I was 16 or 17 because I'd been in a household where it was not seen as a negative, and I did sneak my drinking too. So I can't blame anyone but myself for what I did. I take full responsibility. Worked several jobs that didn't pay what they should have. I didn't really have any guidance on how to seek out a career. Part of it was growing up without a male adult role model. I think my trust was not what it probably could have been. In school, I was bullied and made fun of, and that made my personality a little bit more reserved. I tend to sit back and wait and see how people are going to be before I interact with them. And it takes a little time for me to warm up to people, whether they be good people or not. In my recovery, I started dealing with depression. Didn't realize what it was. Battled through it. Almost, I would say, close to 45 years of dealing with depression. I finally got medicated, and the last 2 years have been pretty good. I just wish that it had come about sooner, but things happen the way they should. I recently went back to school. I've been doing pretty well. All my ducks are in a row. I want to get a degree, and when I help people who may be going through similar types of difficulties, I try to do as much as I can supportive-wise to people who are on Facebook that feel like they have no hope, or they feel depressed, or they have no one to turn to. In the last few years, I've become more active in the church. I don't really want to say I'm a born again Christian, because I've always believed in God. I just found a church where I was able to learn more about the scriptures, how they affect me, and I can relate to a lot of things that go on them. I can make an apples to apples comparison, even though the times are so much different. So from that standpoint, I'm Christian. I'm recovering. I'm medicated from my depression. I've pretty much done this all on my own, and I'm learning to overcome many of my fears about things that I really shouldn't have fears of, or just my hesitancy. I'm not sure it's fear. I think it's more hesitancy to spread my wings and fly. Um, I have a pretty good support group. My former counselor, who I now occasionally volunteer from, I do now volunteer with a grief group with families who are going through the loss of someone, whether it be a parent, a child, or another relative. Uh, I've been doing that for about 5 years, and I think that's kind of what led me to the circumstance in which I met someone who made me realize that I was depressed and I needed to do something about it. Um, I've been very fortunate in my life. I don't have a whole lot, but I never quit. Even when I felt I had no one there to listen to me, I think God was looking at me and feeding me in different ways. I tend to look at things that come up in the middle of a circumstance and try and take the good out of it. I used to be a very angry person, and through my sobriety and depression treatment and things that have happened in my life, I no longer have a place for anger. I don't have a place for hate. I just want good things for myself and good things for other people. And, today's society, I have a hard time with people who like to take the easy way out. It's through difficulty that we learn and grow. Not to say that everything has to be difficult, but I think there is an aspect of today's work and everyday life where people choose the easy path every time, and many times the easy path is not a path that you learn from. Today is a day in which hope is there if you reach for it. The results don't come in one day. It took me a long time to get to where I am now, and that was with minimal help. I did what I could, and in many ways I wish I would have reached this point many years sooner, but we reach the point that we're supposed to reach when we're supposed to. There is no timetable on how we awaken or how we start pursuing our goals. I'm an older man, and a part of me realizes that, my time is more limited now than it was when I first stopped drinking. And I see people struggle, and I try to help. I think that's the most important thing any person can do in this life, is to reach out to another person who's struggling. A kind word, a compliment. Sometimes it might be the little bit of juice that they need to keep them going through the day. I just want to say to anyone out there who has friended me and maybe understands, or maybe they can't understand, but they sympathize with some of the difficulties I've gone through. You know, every day is a chance for rebirth. The important part is to never quit. You know, whether you experience a death or some sort of calamity in your life, it doesn't last forever. The next day is a new day. We all make mistakes, and we can learn from them. Some people are less willing to forgive a mistake or a misunderstanding. I've never really been that way, except for a short period in time in my life, and I just can't imagine myself being that way now. The focus of my life here on in is to do good towards other people and to pursue a degree, and that degree will be to help benefit other people, especially younger people, to find their way and avoid some of the traps that lie out there in life: drugs, alcohol, having sex at too young of an age, people who are untrustworthy, learning to spot people who are deceitful. Today is the day the good Lord has risen. And hopefully your day is blessed and your Easter meal is spent with those you love and those you care most about. And it's full of joy, if there isn't any joy. Reach for the joy. Pursue it. Do not lie back in sadness and unhappiness and think that nothing will ever change. Things change every day. The change happens when you least expect it, but you keep pursuing it. God bless anyone who hears this message, knows that I only wish the best for each and every one of you who have interacted in my life. Happy Easter to all.